Hello YouTube. So this weekend, today's Thursday, the November the 2nd, I think. So this weekend, Saturday, and we might go test Friday. Nobody around was doing test and tune on Friday, but I-64 came out this morning and said that they were going to do test and tune tomorrow, which is Friday. So we might go do that, but we're definitely Saturday going to the I-64 Motorplex and doing the I-64 or the Real Street Revolution race. They do classes on the front side, heads up, index racing, and sportsman. It's an 8th mile track, and then after that race, they do a back of the track, and this one's pour your own puddle, and they got some heads up classes in there. I don't know what all classes we're going to run. We're definitely going to run, I'm going to run 6.5 index, and Christopher's going to run 6.0 index. And then I think he might run Mean Street on the front and the back. But we're definitely doing Upstart and on the back side. Upstart is, it's a small tire class for people just learning and starting to do no prep stuff. And you have to lose 3 times to get out of that. So if you lose once, there's a second chance race, and if you lose again, there's a third chance race. So hopefully, I don't think we'll be able to win the main race, but at least maybe we can do something with the second and third chance race without turning this thing up. And like I said, if you guys have watched the past videos, we don't want to really turn it up until we get a dual needle and seat fuel bowl. Those are just a single seat, and it's on E85, so it really needs a dual needle and seat. Definitely 6.0 index and the Trans Am, and Upstart in the Trans Am, and then definitely 6.5 index in the Camaro. We might even do Upstart in the Camaro too. It's only $25 entry. You get to do 3 passes. I had thought about doing the radio class too, but you got to run mid 5s to low 5s to be able to do anything in them classes, even on that backside no prep. So the Trans Am will go that fast when we turn it up with a dual needle and seat. We might try to turn it up and see if it'll go faster and faster. We'll just keep an eye on the AFR gauge, make sure it doesn't start to lean out, because if it starts to lean out, then that means we're at the end of our single needle and seat's going to supply fuel into the fuel bowl for the carburetor to work properly. But today, I got long-winded there. Me and Chris both have been having problems cutting good reaction times on the 400 Pro Tree. We do both have just your regular standard Summit Racing button. So we're going to try these Biondo 00 buttons. We're going to put one in his car, and we're going to put one in my car, but also something else that we're going to put in his car. Ta-da. And grab it out of the bag here. Is the Simple Stage bump box. Because mine pretty much spools up instantly. Chris's does not, so he needs a bump box. So we're going to use this on his car for now, but later he's going to get the boost leash, which has there's a certain boost leash that has a bump box already in it, and that's what he's going to get. And when he gets that, then I'll just put this on my car. But that's what we're doing today. We're going to use the Simple Stage. We'll just use the Summit button. We'll use this button for the Transbrake. We'll use the Summit button that's already in the car for the bump. And then we're also going to wire all that through a solid state relay. So that's what's coming up today. Christopher's inside brushing his teeth. He's got to put his Invisaligners back in, straighten his teeth out. But that's what he's doing. But he'll be out here in a minute, and we're going to start putting this in. So before, we had one of these relays and the Summit button, and we were only getting 400 Pro Tree. We was only getting like a 0.12 to a 0.16 reaction time. I was doing the same in my car as he was doing the same. They both got the same button and relay. And some of them guys were cutting 0304s on a 400 Pro Tree, which again I thought was impossible, but apparently it's not. So I think the relay or the button's slowing us down. Hopefully that's the case. But when the video comes out of the I-64 race, that's Pro Tree 400. Y'all know if it helped or not. But we're going to go over putting it in. And here we go. We got Chris, the man of the hour.
What's up, YouTube?
Going to do all the work. Because I can't fit underneath that dash with that roll bar in there. It's not easy getting in now. They're my short, fat butt. Chris fits in there a lot easier. Just still ain't easy fitting in there, but yeah.
It's like excuses.
And we got Velcro. The relay came with a big heat sink, but I don't think we're going to need that because the relay is only going to be activated for a short time on the Transbrake. So we're just going to we got some Velcro from Walmart, and we'll probably Velcro it in on the inside of the car to the firewall. All right, so here's the directions for the solid state relay. You got the power coming in to number 2 in the top right, and then whatever you want to energize and activate, you have coming out on number 1. In this instance, they're using the Transbrake solenoid like we're going to do. And then on the bottom, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can either have 3 going straight to power and energize it with ground like they've done with the switch, which is the way I've done it on my car, or you can just have 4 grounded and then energize it with number 3 on the bottom right there, which is the way we done it on Chris's car. And this is the way you wire in the simple stage. Now, we did do it a little bit different here. As you'll see, I've X'd out Transbrake solenoid and put relay, because we're going to put a relay in there instead, because if you run it straight to the Transbrake like that, you're supposed to have a diode going from the power wire to the ground wire, so it doesn't backfeed. But if you use a relay there, you don't need the diode. So we've elected to go with the relay. Also because, you know, we've got the 2-step ignition box on there, on that wire also, so we definitely don't want any backfeeding to the ignition box. So we used the relay, the solid state relay. Alright, so based on those last 2 schematics, we decided to wire everything in just like this. If you need to pause the screen, go ahead and do so. But yeah, this is how we're going to wire in the Biondo button, the bump button, the 2-step, the simple stage, and the solid state relay on Christopher's car. Alright, so Chris took the summit button out. Where's the summit button? So the summit button looks like that. We're going to put that one in that side, and this Biondo we're going to put over there. You had to buy a separate wire for that one, so it usually goes through here. When you're on the button, it goes from the common to this normally open, and when you're not on the button, it flows through here, so you could actually hook nitrous up to that one, which kind of be cool. When you're on the brake, it goes here, and you let off the brake, it goes here, so anything that you wanted to wire up off the brake, you can wire up there. But yeah, he's going to put that one over there and the summit button over there, and then we're going to run some wires down under there, start wiring everything up. Alright, Chris has the summit button in, the Biondo button. I put some, we had to buy a separate cord, and I put some eyelets on the cord, and he's just going to screw those in to the top of the middle. Oh, he took it out.
Got you.
The top in the middle, the one that says common, and the one that says normally open. Alright, Chris has the buttons in it. Now we're going to kind of zip tie them around. This one's going to come around. This part all turns with the steering wheel, so he's going to take that one over. And we're going to zip tie that one down to the steering wheel too, because I don't know how much I trust it pulling out of them eyelets. And then it'll all just go over that way.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to look like. Pretty nice.
It'll be like, wow, bump, 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 scramble.
Yeah, and then when he has the boost leash hooked up, this one acts as a bump and a scramble. Through the box it knows, because if the Transbrake button is pushed, it'll act as a bump. But when you're not on the Transbrake button, it acts as a scramble. And the box knows how to tell when all that's turned on. The boost leash does all that. But we're just going to use a simple stage for now until he gets that. Because when he gets that, that's going to be a winter project. this is really, the simple stage is really just for this race, but we'll have to wire all the wires for the boost leash like this anyway. And once he gets the boost leash, then I'm going to take the simple stage and put it on my car. That's the plan. The main goal here is the button and the solid state relay versus the summit button for the Transbrake, and that regular relay. The goal here is to make, hopefully this will be faster so we can cut a better light on a 400 tree, because the summit button and the regular relay wasn't working for a 400 tree. There's no way we could cut a decent light. So that's the goal here, and y'all will find out if that helps us tomorrow, because we're going to put the Biondo Button in both cars, and we're going to put the solid state relay in both cars. Now on some of these things we're using these little clip things. A buddy of mine gave me these. They work awesome. You flip that up, you put the bare wire in there, and you flip it down, and it clips the wire, and it sends anything you have connected through here. It connects all this together. So, and this just makes it easier if, like, there's a class where a Transbrake button isn't allowed, even on the steering wheel. Just makes it easier to take all that stuff out. All right, I made pretty good progress. So from the fuse box, we come over, we come up to the back of this button on the common, and then the normally open, which is in the middle, we go down, and that one splits 3 ways. It goes to the ignition box 2-step, then it goes to the red wire on the simple stage, and then it comes back to the bump button, and then coming out of the bump button goes to the blue wire on the simple stage, and then the yellow wire on the simple stage goes to this plus, and then we just grounded this negative. And then I come off this power block. This is all power across here, and we went to number 1 on the relay, which it don't matter, and then the other side went to the Transbrake solenoid down there, and then the other line from the Transbrake solenoid I've just got grounded on this ground stud back here. And then the rest of those colors, there's a gray, a black, and what else, Chris?
White,
Coming,
red, yellow, black, blue.
Coming off the simple stage is these 3 wires here, which got to be tied into these white, green, and black. But that black also has to be grounded and come off, and it grounds that and the simple stage. And Chris grounded it to the frame up under the dash somewhere. He grounded the solid state relay, and everything's up under there, velcroed, sticky back velcro for that, and the relay is under there somewhere. Sticky
it's all
back
on the back of the glove box.
Oh, he put it on the back of the glove box with sticky back velcro. He was laying upside down in there doing all that, and that pretty much should be it. So the next step is to test it. So we tried to test it, and it didn't work. I'm thinking either I'm thinking on this, the power in is supposed to go to 2, and then 1 should go to the Transbrake, and we had it backwards. But we're just going to put this relay in, and this time run power to the plus number 2, and then this one to the Transbrake, because the Transbrake stayed on. It didn't shut off. It didn't shut off at all.
Put the Velcro on this one?
I mean, the button was working. Yeah, the button was making the light go off on this. There's a light right there on 3. But it was still completing the circuit when it shouldn't have. Alright, so we had before power wire coming in, and then Transbrake to the Transbrake, power for the Transbrake. But that's open. It's supposed to close when you do power and ground here, and we have this one ground, and then the simple stage provides the power right there. So now we're going to change these around and switch the relay out. So power is coming in here from the power block on the outside of the car and the fender, and then this goes to the Transbrake, and then yellow wire from simple stage and ground. We're gonna try that. So I owned those two out and it's not connecting. I don't know why it did that. But when we hooked the battery up, we did hear a big clicking noise. And it was the Transbrake solenoid. It's working now. We put the other one in it. But this time, we had power running here and then the Transbrake here. We switched these two. Everything else is the same. But it's working now. He just clicked it. So I don't know. We're going to put this one in my car. And this time run the power from here. It shouldn't matter because this should be open until this is energized. But it's working now because on that Transbrake you can put it in reverse or you can put it in neutral and hit the button. And he backed up with the button, so it's working now. I don't know why this one's acting up. I just ohmed it out here and it wasn't connecting.
That car has not been started in how long?
About a month.
It's like 40 degrees outside. It's on E85. And it's carbureted.
It starts right up.
And it's idling by itself.
And idling by itself already. We didn't run it. 2 minutes.
That's very generous. I started it up. Gave it a little bit of gas and it was already idling by itself. And we were trying to back it up.
Yeah, we were trying to brake.
It took like 30 seconds.
The Transbrake was closed and we couldn't back it up. Well, we could have.
Could have been reversed.
In reverse, we'd have put it in reverse.
Then we put it in neutral and it kept going backwards. And I thought my shifter wasn't doing the reverse lockout because I was pushing it all the way up and I was like, that should be neutral. It's going backwards. And then you're like, put it in neutral. Put it in neutral. I was like,
put it in neutral. Put it in neutral. I said, it's supposed to be neutral. I'm like, oh. And then we shut it off. I said, get under there and see if the Transbrake's closed because it's external. And it was closed and it was hot as fire. And that's all we did. We just changed this out. And instead of running power here, Transbrake here, we ran power here and Transbrake here and a different. But we're going to test this one on mine tomorrow. We'll probably make that part of this video too. Or we might even mess with it tonight. It's only like 8 o'clock. Alright, we're gonna test it. It ain't gonna go nowhere. Make sure the two-step works. The two-step, make sure the two-step works.
All right, so what are we doing now?
So on mine's activated off the button with a ground. See, and it went to this relay. So the button's grounded in the car, and then the ground wire comes out here. So on this relay, you got to have ground and then power to energize. So this one went to power, and then this one off my button, ground off my button, ground for my two-step box. That two-step box uses a ground or a 12 volt. So we're just going to move this blue wire over to this bottom negative wire.
What number is it?
Number 1. And then we're going to move this power wire, which these are the wires that activated this relay, over to this one. And then after that, we got this is the power wire for the Transbrake right here. We're going to run this one to negative, and then we're just going to run a power source. See this one? This is a power block. We're going to run this one to the positive.
Actually, I think you're looking at it backwards, right? 'Cause that's number 4.
Yeah, but it's the negative. So we need this to negative. And then we just need a power here and a power here. And then this one goes back to the Transbrake.
Okay.
And then this negative is off the button is what will energize it for us. Like we used a power off yours simple stage so we grounded that out. And then we had a power here, and then once these got energized, power and ground, it closed this circuit and let it go through. Now this one didn't work on yours, but I'm kind of wondering if the power has to be on the plus side, and we had it on the negative side. So we're going to try this relay again and see if it'll work. So guys, this relay is working now. I'm assuming the only thing we did different was we put you can do ground through here, you can do power through here, but apparently if you do power through here, the power coming in needs to be on number 2, and then this one goes to the Transbrake. So I've got ground for the button here, and I got this one run straight to power, number 3, plus straight to power, negative. My Transbrake button goes through negative, and I ohmed it out. It didn't ohm out, and Chris went over there and hit the button, and it ohmed out. So apparently it's working. So now I just got to put the Transbrake wire, which is over here. There goes the Transbrake. Transbrake solenoid's grounded underneath the car, so we do have to go through power here. So we're going to hit the Transbrake button there, or the Transbrake solenoid here, power side, and then we're going to run power straight from this block over to here too. We could have just jumped this over. I might just do that. I might just make a jumper. No, it's hard to fit 2 of them on there, so I'll do another one from here over to here, and then that one will go to the Transbrake. All right, let's see if it works. Again, power straight to here. This goes to the power side of the solenoid for the Transbrake. Solenoid for the Transbrake's grounded under the car, and then this goes straight to power, number 3, straight to power. This energizes the relay. This is my power going through, and then my Transbrake button is negative, and it goes right there. See if it works. Hit it, Chris. You'll hear it click. Hear it. So it works. So apparently this has to be, like, if you're running ground through this needs to be the one that's grounded. If you're running power through this is the one that's got to have the battery to it. And then this one goes to whatever you're trying to activate. And then power and ground here. And again, we activated Chris's with a power, but we just grounded that one out and activated his off the button with the power. But mine, I went straight to power here, and I could have just looped those 2 together probably, and then my button energizes it off the ground the way we're doing it. But that light comes on. The weird thing about it is that light wasn't on, and it was still sending it through here, but we had power here and Transbrake here, so apparently it does matter. The main power coming in needs to be on the plus, and then this goes to whatever you're trying to energize. See on these type of relays, there's ground and power. You have to have both to energize it. And I don't think it matters if you got power and ground here or power and ground there to energize it. But once you energize it, it flows from this red one to this yellow one. And again, I don't think it matters on this one if you got how you got them, the main source coming in the yellow and then coming out the red, or the main source coming in the red and out the yellow. I don't think it matters. But when these aren't energized, then it flows. Yeah, it does matter, because the red one needs the main power. Yeah, it does matter. If you want to use this middle one, it matters, because this is the main power. And then when it's not activated, it'll go from this red one to this middle one, which I took out because I wasn't using it. Then when you energize it with the power and the ground, it comes out this top one. But yeah, that's how the relays work. Now we have to take my button out and just switch it out for the Biondo O. And we're set. And that button has them quick clips like we used on Christopher's I showed earlier. So it'll be real easy. We just pull one out. But and put the other in. We just got to make sure the main ground wire is going to the common pole on the O. Oh, let's see if I can. Yeah. So the main ground needs to go to the common, the one that's already grounded out. And then we need to put it the other side on this. And we'll just ohm it out to see which wire it was, unless we can just see it in there and figure it out. But yeah, so mine's run through ground, so the main ground wire that's grounded out in the car is going to go here, and then this one goes to here on the relay since we're using ground. And then I just got a wire coming off of it to act the two-step off ground. But tomorrow I'm going to unhook that, and we're going to see how high the stall goes. But it's pretty much going to do it. We'll just switch the button out like we did Christopher's, and we'll go to I-64 maybe Friday to test and tune. We'll see, but definitely on Saturday, and see if we can hit the 400 Pro Tree better, because the way we had them set up with the Summit button and this black relay, me and Chris both were only getting 0.12 to 0.16 reaction times on a 400 tree. So hopefully now we got the good button, we got the good relay, and apparently we got the Pro brake, the Hipster Pro brake, and it's supposed to be good for 400 Pro Tree. So y'all stay tuned and see if it works. Anything to add, Chris?
Oh, see what happens.
He got a bump. Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Y'all have a good one.